Peace, everybody. Appreciate you guys coming through. Jelly Bean Killer here, and if you remember correctly, we left off defeating the cleric beast. Now, afterwards, we had to go down into this like sewer area. It was a bunch of giant New York rats down here, and these zombie-looking creatures that were gross as hell. They were super hard to see, and they would pretend to be dead, or maybe that's just how they sleep or something. But once I cleared out that area, I was able to make my way to what is the second boss, which is Father Gascoigne. I'm sure someone's going to tell me how to pronounce that in the comments, but so far we've been doing a good job clearing the area. When I made my way over to the second boss, I didn't die one single time. I made sure to take my time. I went slow, watched out for any jump scares, anything popping out at me. Only thing I really remember popping out at me a lot down here was ravens, because they're kind of hard to see. Just like these little creatures right here, they're like flat against the ground. It's dark. It's kind of hard for you to see. But I appreciate you guys coming through to the video today, man. Just like I told you guys, I did fix the pixelation and the echoing. However, this boss fight that's coming up, that was a part of the first recording I did with the cleric beast. So on my Twitch, I actually killed both these bosses in the first recording. So the pixelated and the echoing is still going to be in here a little bit, but I am going to put timestamps down below, so if it really does bother you, you can skip ahead to the newest recording, which is when I fought the third boss, which you guys are going to see who that is very shortly. But right here we have
this a boss
Father
fight?
Gascoigne.
I didn't even save. Oh fuck. I'm cooked. I didn't even save, bruh. I think it's a boss fight. I think it's the only time they really do cutscenes in the middle of your gameplay. Oh shit. We got a lot of heals though.
Beasts all over the shop.
Just can't die instantly.
You'll be one of them, sooner or later. Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them.
You on that bullshit. Trying to parry. Every time I'm getting hit, I'm parrying it, but it is not coming out.
What's that smell? The sweet blood. Oh, it seems to me that smell. It's enough to make a man sick. The sweet blood. Oh, it seems to me. It's enough to make a man sick.
Get him, get him, get him, get him! Woo! Let's go, baby! First try, man. Come on now.
So after this, as you guys can see, that fight was super sloppy. I'm still getting used to well, at this moment, I was still getting used to controls. You saw I was throwing stuff. I was hitting square instead of circle. I was still getting used to the camera angles, how the camera with R3, when you click it, it redirects you to the character. I was still getting used to all that stuff. So as you could tell, I was having a hard time in the middle of the fight trying to adjust on the fly. Like I said, I fought the first 3 bosses, so I was familiar with the first 2 bosses, and the third boss, which is the one that I had a really hard time on, coming up next. He's the one that was giving me real problems the first time I tried to play this, and you guys will see shortly. But after that, we made our way to the next area, which was called the Cathedral Ward. And that area has some challenges on its own as well. So in this next area, Cathedral Ward, there are 2 hunters, a smaller one that challenges you as you're going through the area, and then there's one that's shooting a minigun. Yes, a freaking minigun at you as you go throughout the level. So I tried to go find him, and I was able to find him. And after a couple of attempts, I realized I was not ready for this fight. You see right here, I changed my weapon. I realized it was a little too slow for trying to fight a hunter. I'm noticing all the smaller characters and enemies in this game are very agile, very quick. They dodge. All the hunters can do everything I can do, basically. And you see right here, this man hit me with a shotgun. Perfect timing. I fell off the ledge. And after dying to him about 4 times, actually trying to beat him, thinking that, this is just like any other game. And anybody they put in front of you, that means you can beat them. No, I learned right here that's not the case. That some of these enemies I'm going to have to come back to when I feel like I'm more prepared. And he was just one of them people where I was just like, I'm not ready for him. I'm not ready for him. So we went ahead and just made our way through the rest of this area. And then we finally made our way to the end of this area after killing countless number of wolves, being introduced to poisoned attributes that some of these enemies have, and getting a lot of antidotes. We made our way to the blood-starved beast, my old rival. One other thing I did start to notice too is that they give you a bell that you can use to summon characters to actually help you with the fight. Right here, I use my silencing pistol to actually disrupt the resonance, which means you send them back to the bell. So I could do the boss fight solo basically, but apparently before every fight, before a lot of the boss fights, I'm guessing, I don't know if this is correct, but this is the second time I've been offered a bell right before a boss fight. So I'm assuming that if you struggle with the boss fight too bad, you can get help from these AI-like characters basically. But obviously I want to do this the hard way. And when I said rival earlier, take that with a grain of salt, because rivalry usually you call someone a rival that you actually beat. It's a back and forth. This was just more like a slaughter. Like my first attempt really wasn't that bad, but after that he just started whooping my ass repeatedly over and over and over again.
No! I actually timed it right, but I don't know. Damn! We was doing good right there, though. We had a 5 healing, and we got up to about a third. I'm hitting B. I know what your tactic's doing. I'm gonna
So
try to
after
start.
dying a ridiculous amount of times, I only showed you guys 3 times. I died like maybe like 12, 10, maybe like 10 to 12 times. But what I did was on all those other deaths after the first like 3 or 4, I would go in with no heals, antidote, but I wouldn't use any, and I would just see how far I could get. Doing so allowed me to learn the patterns of the enemy and also figure out a strategy of when to attack, find the openings, figure out how I'm supposed to defeat this character. Because the more and more I play Bloodborne, the more and more I realize every enemy, even the ones you encounter throughout the levels, they all have weaknesses. They all at some point open up themselves for you to do big damage. All I had to do is figure that out for this boss. So I was really only dying to him because of lack of knowledge, basically. So what I did is these runs I went in with no heals, and I just saw how far I could get. Doing this repeatedly over and over, I did die a lot. It was frustrating. However, I finally got to the point to where I felt comfortable. I farmed up a couple blood echoes, got my resources up, my heals and everything, and then I went in for the one-on-one that really mattered. You'll also notice that he basically has like 2 phases, really 3. The first phase, after you get through it, he'll scream. And when he screams, he protrudes this like oil or whatever it is, and it slow poisons you if you get too close while he's doing that. When your slow poison bar gets full, you will start slowly dying. Over time, your health will start running down pretty fast if you don't take an antidote. So every time he screamed, he would basically get faster. He would start doing the same attack animations, except they were way faster. He would get way more aggressive, and then the poisoning around him would be at a bigger radius. So every time you got close to him, the poison, you had to worry about that. So it basically turned the fight into like a ticking time bomb, where this slow strategy that I'm doing at the beginning, once he screams the first time and he screams the second time, that slow poisoning is eventually going to get to you, and before long you'll be out of antidotes if you keep playing slow. So I basically had to keep my strategy up, but towards the end when I was about to get him, I had to really go a lot faster because, like I said, it was basically like a ticking time bomb. The slow poison starts putting pressure on you, and it'll get you choking and panicking real quick if you really not, prepared and knowing what you're doing. And it took me a lot of deaths, but I think we finally figured him out. So we finally beat this, man. And when I tell you, this fight right here is what taught me a lot about the game, because I realized you have to strategize for these boss fights. I mean, you can't just go in there and think you're about to just start face tanking and doing all this cheese. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some type of way of cheesing him. I don't know. Maybe there is a way to cheese bosses in Bloodborne. I have no clue. Maybe find some type of glitch or whatever. But obviously, you guys know we don't do none of that stuff around here. But you have to strategize for these bosses. You have to think these fights through, and you have to take your time with some bosses. Now, this boss in particular, at the beginning, I was able to take my time. But towards the end, I had to speed up and I had to really lock in, because I had, like I said, the time was against me at that point. You saw the slow poisoning. Every time he got close to me, my slow poisoning bar would go up. Even when he didn't hit me, my slow bar poisoning was going up because of whatever was protruding out of him. I'm guessing that's what's poisoning you. But yeah, he speeds you up. He gets you choking. He gets you panicking. He really gets you sweating a little bit towards that last phase. And if you're not careful, one combo can just put you down for good. And that's really how all my deaths were happening with him. I would get to the last phase when I finally started getting decent, and then I would just start panicking because he would just go crazy. He would come at me nonstop. He really wasn't giving me any room to think about my next move. But we were able to adjust this fight, and we were able to knock the fight out, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. The next fight, we're going to show you guys the next area that we're going to unlock after beating this boss fight. I'm going to go over a little bit of the armor and my weaponry just so you guys can see what I'm working with in that regards. And if you were interested in watching me live, go to twitch.tv/jellybeankiller. I stream Monday through Thursdays. Other than that, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.